I'm reading a book right now. I'm reading a book right now called The Barbarian Way. It's such a cool book. The whole premise of the book is that somehow over the centuries, the passion and fire of following Jesus that started right after he died and rose again has somehow been lost, and it's been turned into an organized, civilized, religious culture we call Christianity. But the power and the passion and the relationship has been lost. And I couldn't agree more. So much of Christianity is misunderstood and misinterpreted because people look at the representatives of Christianity rather than Christ, the founder. So my desire for you guys is look to the founder. Search out in your own heart God's desire for you, and listen to Him personally. And I would like to encourage you guys to read the Bible too. Now, I know that a lot of people are like, oh no, the Bible, it's like Macbeth or something. It's like reading Shakespeare. For verily he did say to Abraham, thither I will go with thee. I'm with you. I'm with you. I grew up on that book, and I memorized hundreds of those King James verses. However, there is an answer. The answer is some new translations of the Bible. One of them that I'm absolutely in love with is called The Message. You guys, this thing rocks, okay? Does anyone have a Bible? What is it, New International?
Study Bible. It's Thompson Chain Reference, NIV.
NIV? Okay, do me a favor. Look up Matthew 6. Is it 6 or 5? Maybe 6. No, 5 is the Beatitudes, yeah, so it must be 6. Yes, look up Matthew 6. Okay, you guys, this is a great translation. It reads very contemporary. It makes much more sense. It's much more...
Matthew 6?
Yes.
Verse what?
Just from the top. 1 second. It's much more relevant.
User-friendly.
Yeah, it's user-friendly. It's relevant. It sounds like the way people talk today. I memorized verses when I was little for like competitions and stuff, and then 25 years later, I read them in this book, and they're fresh. It's like, oh, wow. It hits me all over again. This verse that I've known my whole life. And I read it, and it's like the first time I ever read it. Before I forget, the second thing I want to encourage you guys to do is, just recently I finished recording the entire Gospel of John. I did this just for the fans. This is my gift to people that are interested in looking into this, but don't really have, like, where do I start? The Gospel of John is a great place. So I literally sat down for 6 months and recorded all 21 chapters, reading it like an audiobook. I kind of put some funny little voices to the characters, like Pilate and the Pharisees and all the people in it. And then I played the piano underneath it to make it easier to kind of listen to and much more user-friendly. And so I was in such a hurry to get out of my house the morning I left here, I forgot to grab some because I made them for you guys. But here's the good news. I put them on the Rangers website. Go to the Rangers website, brand new website, and you look in the quick links, it says Gospel of John. You click on it and you download the whole book. All right? And the discs, when I have them at conventions, are free. I actually had people donate, friends and Christians, my church, people that felt like this was a really good ministry, to have discs made so that I didn't charge for them. Because I would never want anyone to say, oh, he's just trying to make a buck. No. I just want you guys to have God's Word. I believe there's power in this book, you guys. Okay? And let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Go ahead and, this is the NIV. Now the NIV is great, by the way. This is not the King James. But does anyone have King James? Anyone have a King James version?
That might be. Is that a Gideon Bible? Yeah, that's King James.
It's a little one.
Won't take long to know, will it?
Actually, a small one.
Yeah. Here you go. Here you go. Will you read this, Heather?
Sure.
Everyone listen to this. This is Matthew 6. This is Jesus talking. He's talking to a crowd of people that have come to listen to him. And he's talking about praying. He's talking about coming before God and the way that you pray. Go ahead.
Chapter 1?
No, chapter 6. Matthew 6.
I thought you said that, yeah. Okay. Take heed that you...
Here, stand up, turn around. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Go ahead, ready? Listen close.
Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them. Otherwise, you have no reward from your Father in heaven.
Stop. Message. Be especially careful when you're trying to be good so that you don't make a performance out of it. It might be good theater, but the God who made you won't be applauding.
Therefore, when you do a charitable deed, do not sound a trumpet before as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory from men. Assuredly, I say to you, they have their reward.
When you do something for someone else, don't call attention to yourself. You've seen them in action, I'm sure. Play actors, I like to call them. Treating prayer meeting and street corner alike as a stage. Acting compassionate as long as someone is watching.
But when you do a charitable deed, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, that your charitable deed may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will himself reward you openly.
When you help someone out, don't think about how it looks. Just do it quietly and unobtrusively. That is the way your God, who conceived you in love, working behind the scenes, helps you out. Thanks. You see what I mean? It's the same. It's all there. It's all there. It's the same thing. But it's much more, it hits you much more reasonably and the way that we communicate nowadays. I would very much encourage you guys to get this and start reading. Just start the New Testament and read it. Characters come alive. You know, when I say Paul, when I say the Apostle Paul, what do you think of? Oh, you know, he was like started, you know, I guess considered to be the founder of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, and oh yeah, that's right, Peter was, and then Apostle Paul, big guy in the Catholic Church, right? Apostle Paul, the Apostle Paul, the Apostle Paul. Read him in the Message. He's just a guy. He's a guy just like you, who had this passion to do something for God, and he was disappointed, and he was let down, and he was made lots of mistakes, and he was bold, and he would do these great things, and then he would turn around and he would moan and complain about how he was treated in the last town and stuff. I mean, very real. He comes to life. He becomes a three-dimensional person. And I don't know about you, but I can relate much more to a person like that than some, this image that Paul's feet never touched the ground. He just kind of hovered around, you know? Borrowed Michael J. Fox's skateboard and just hovered around. That's not the kind of person that inspires, because it's hard to relate to that kind of person. These guys in the Bible were no different than you. They were no different than you. They struggled, they failed, they fell. Peter, the Apostle Peter, who is considered to have founded the Catholic Church. Well, back then it wasn't the Catholic Church, it was just the church. But Peter, a very, very short time before Jesus' death, oh, Lord, I would do anything for you. I would die for you. I would defend you, and I would go to the grave with you. And Jesus is like, oh, really? Well, let me tell you what you're going to do, brave man. You're going to say you never knew me. You're going to deny that you even knew me. You've traveled with me for 3 years. You've seen me do miracles. And when the pressure's on, you're going to tell people, I don't even know who he is. And that's exactly what he did. Doesn't sound like oh, I am Peter. Does it? It sounds like a guy. It sounds like a guy just like us.